Commonwealth ends summit with call for motion on climate change. Kigali. The newly expanded Commonwealth made wide commitments on Saturday to deal with weather change and boost trade, concluding a summit geared toward shoring up the relevance of a group that developed from the British Empire. The membership, whose 56 individuals range from India to the tiny Pacific island nation of Nauru, covers some 2.5 billion humans, or about one-third of the sector's populace. It gives itself as a network for cooperation, however critics say it desires to carve out a more concrete role and be less of a speaking keep. The week-long summit in Rwanda capital Kigali included remarks from Britain's Prince Charles expressing sorrow for his U.S. role in the transatlantic slave alternate, the first time the Commonwealth has publicly addressed the challenge. Some contributors urged the corporation to head in addition with the aid of discussing reparations to international locations harmed by way of the slave alternate. There become no mention of the topic in the very last verbal exchange or information convention, which is a substitute targeted on broad coverage pronouncements about sustainable improvement, health care and gender equality. A Living Lands Charter stated that Commonwealth countries would paintings to implement previously signed global offers just like the Paris Weather Agreement. We know that we are at code pink in terms of climate alternate and that the small member states are facing a disaster that might be existential. Patricia Scotland, re-elected at some point of the summit as Commonwealth Secretary-General, advised reporters. Scotland also touted rising change between Commonwealth members, which she stated she predicted to hit $2 trillion in line with year via 2030 after collapsing at some point of the COVID-19 pandemic. Gabon and Togo had been newly popular into the Commonwealth, part of a fashion of French-speaking African states seeking new alliances past Paris's antique networks of affect. If the Commonwealth wasn't alive and colorful and optimistic, why might countries which include Gabon and Togo be a part of? Michael Musa Adamo, Gabon's overseas minister, informed. Human rights mostly absent from the summit's public discussions were awkward issues regarding the host United States of America. Many human rights businesses don't forget Rwanda among Africa's maximum repressive countries. The U.S. State Department has referred to credible reviews of arbitrary killings by using the government, consisting of politically stimulated reprisal killings overseas. Neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo accuses Rwanda of supporting rebels waging a prime offensive in Japanese Congo. Rwanda denies all of those fees. At the Information Convention, Rwandan President Paul Kagame defended Rwanda human rights document and accused Western governments of hypocrisy. There is no person that is in prison in Rwanda that ought to no longer be there, he stated. Actually, there are folks who are not in prison who need to be there. Also inside the highlight has been Britain's debatable coverage to deport asylum seekers to Rwanda, defined as appalling, by way of Prince Charles, in step with British media. Kagame defended his United States' role and denied it became inspired by using the £120 million, $147 million Britain is to start with paying Rwanda to house the asylum seekers. The association became put on maintain final week after the European Court of Human Rights blocked the first flight to Rwanda. We attempt to do our exceptional to offer them an experience of safety and normalcy, he said. If they do not come, we won't complain. It's now not like we are dying to have human beings come to us on this way. $1 equals £0.8155.